guys, and welcome back to the only Accies YouTube channel. My name is Ben, and today's video is all about what Accies fans expect from the team next season. Over the last few seasons, Accies fans have approached a new one pretty nervously. We weren't really sure where we were going to land or how well we were going to do. Now, a lot of this is due to the managerial choices over the last few years. So to give you some context, let's discuss Martin Canning. I actually think it's totally unfair to diminish what Martin Canning did for the club. He was a player for a long time, was fully committed to us. He then took the leap to management, which I don't even think he was fully confident with, and he managed to keep us up for 4 seasons. That's not to be forgotten about. I mean, a team who just lost Alex Neil, one of the best managers in our recent history, and now we're stuck with Martin Canning, who had no experience in the job whatsoever. He was relying on Boozy, his assistant, to try and get him through it. He was relying on the experience of others, including people like George Cairns, but he was somehow in the hot seat, and to his credit, he kept us up for those years. Although the fans did end up turning on him with crowd sizes depleting, his negative football tactics, including just hoofballs, and also the continuous sales of all our best players. There's some you can excuse. People like David Templeton, we only signed in a 1-year deal, and we knew he wasn't really going to stay. He came back here just to get his fitness back up and to make a name for himself. He kept us up for the season, so we're very grateful for that. But we knew he wasn't going to stay. People like Lewis Ferguson, Greg Docherty, for example, I feel we probably could have held on to them a little bit longer. Although Canning can't take all the blame, we have to talk about the board for that, but we'll save all that for a different video. In his first season, Martin Canning finished 7th. Now, a lot of that is due to Alex Neil doing most of the groundwork. Alex stayed for half of the season, and he had such a good run that when Martin took over, all he had to do was basically not mess it up so badly. He only had 9 or 10 games left to go, and I don't think he won a single one. But like I said, it was due to Alex Neil's groundwork for the start of the season that we finished so highly. From then on, we started to see performances dip. In the season after that, we finished 10th. After that, it was 11th, only surviving to the playoff. And eventually, he ended his run at the club in January in 2019, losing 9 games in a row. And he ended his time at the club in January 2019, losing 9 games in a row, and the last one being a 3-0 defeat to Celtic. And this is when we were greeted with Brian Rice. Now, I think it's fair to say that a lot of Accies fans didn't actually know who Brian Rice was. He'd spent his whole career as a number 2. And he got us off to a really strong start. You could see the team had so much fight and so much passion. A lot of it, I believed at the time, was just due to the fact he wanted to impress the new boss, but we were getting results, so who cares? We did see some old Accies tropes falling in, getting battered at Kelly, losing late goals, all the kind of usual stuff Accies fans come to expect. It is something that Brian Rice has said openly that he wants to diminish and get out of the club, and that's something he's working on, hopefully, in pre-season. We've seen a good few results under Brian Rice to keep us up, actually. This year we've seen wins at Aberdeen, including a worldie from George Oakley, home wins against St Johnstone, away to Dundee as well, and a really good win at home to Hearts. With those results, coupled with a lot of poor results for Dundee and St Mirren, meant that we secured 10th. But let's talk about next season. I stuck a poll out on Twitter and on Facebook asking Accies fans, realistically, where do you think we'll finish next season? And 80% of you guys voted from 7th to 10th, which I absolutely agree with. It puts us in the bottom half of the table, which we know we're not going to get top 6, but also places us in that nice middle ground of either going to be comfortable in the top half of the bottom half, or we're going to be in that kind of 10th dogfight role in the bottom 3. To be honest with you, I think finishing 9th will be a huge achievement. It'll show progression with the team instead of the decreasing that we're seeing under Martin Canning. I genuinely think that now Brian Rice is having his window to kind of create the own team that he wants. Now he's going to have a pre-season under his belt where he can proper get a look at the team. When it comes closer to the season getting started and all the transfer deals are kind of wrapped up, I am planning on doing a league prediction video, so where everyone's going to finish the league, and I'll go into more detail about where we're going to finish then. But realistically, Accies fans aren't stupid. We know we're not a top 6 team. We know we're realistically going to be in that kind of bottom half. But we want to see people who fight and give 110% every game. Now, you're probably thinking, well, obviously that's football. You know, surely every player in every team gives 100% every game. You haven't watched Accies. Accies far too often have had passengers in the team, and that's something that Brian Rice has tried to get out the club in the latter part of that season. He started playing players that wouldn't necessarily have started otherwise, but they knew they weren't going to be passengers in the game. People like Regan Mimnov, for example. Now, I know he's still young, but he's forcing his way into that first team, and Brian Rice was obviously impressed with him. And you can see that he wants to impress. Regan tried to control the game, you know, taking the ball in the ground, pinging some passes around, and I liked that. Even people like Ogumbo, who came off a really long injury, he could have easily just kind of eased his way back in the team, but I think Brian Rice probably said to him, listen, if you want to fight for this place, you better go out there and do that, and he did. Now, obviously, we're going to be tipped for relegation again this year. It happens every time. But with St Mirren remaining and losing their manager, Ross County coming up, and obviously us, I believe it'll be between us three who the bookies tip for favourite for relegation. I think if we can get a good run of form and our signings settling quickly, I don't see why 9th or even 8th or even 7th is an unrealistic expectation, as long as we're not stuck in a dogfight. I think that's the biggest thing. If we can comfortably secure 9th, I think Accies fans will be more than happy with that. We hate being in the dogfight at the bottom of the table every single season. It will show progression with the team, it will show progression with the club, and it will show the club want to do well, and that Brian Rice is having an effect that we think we can all see. And to be honest, even if we do end up in that position, and we do end up going down, I would feel far more confident that Brian Rice will be able to get us back up than anyone else. And that's something Accies fans were talking about with Martin Canning at the time. They would rather see us fire Martin Canning and get relegated than stay up with Martin Canning, because they believed that if they got rid of him, there's more of a chance of us coming straight back up than being in another dogfight in the Premiership. And that is not us saying we would rather be in Championship football, it's simply saying we would rather not have Martin Canning at the helm. And realistically, we want to enjoy coming to the games. Under Martin Canning, we've seen so many people leave the games because they weren't entertained. And that's what football is all about, it's entertainment. And that's what Brian Rice speaks about. He says that if his players aren't happy playing, then what's the point in doing it? So if Brian Rice can get us back fighting, play some nice football along the way, and even secure a higher position, that's fine by me. And like I said, I do genuinely believe that with Brian Rice at the helm, we will do well this season, and I honestly can see us finishing 9th. But like I said, when the league prediction video comes out in a few weeks' time after the pre-season, and once all the signings are wrapped up, I'll be doing a proper in-depth analysis of where I think everybody will finish in the league. I'm just going to read a few comments out from you guys that I put up on when I put up on Twitter and Facebook. At Accies Life on Twitter said, I'd say being realistic 7th and 10th, but we aren't quite there yet. Still got about 3 or 4 signings before we can get onto a position where we can compete for 9th. We have no experienced centre-backs other than Gogic and a lack in creative players. It's an absolutely fair decision. But I feel that we'll still have a few players to come in the window. I think we'll see them come in, and I say confidently we can finish 9th. Jack on Facebook said we shouldn't be aiming to finish below either Livingston or St Mirren, given there's usually the one big team that has an off-season, Partick, Hibs, Dundee United. He would possibly be looking at a 9th finish. Totally agree. Luke on Facebook said, to be honest, I'd bite your hand off for the 7th to 10th as long as we play the right football and use our youngsters. I think Alan sums it up pretty well actually. Don't see why we shouldn't be aiming as high as possibly can. Right attitude and a few decent signings and you never know. But thanks a lot for joining me on the Only Accies YouTube channel. Be sure to go ahead and hit like if you enjoyed and leave in the comment section where do you guys think Accies will finish this season. Don't forget to hit subscribe as well so you never miss some Accies content, and don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, all linked in the description. And be sure to share the video around as much as you can guys. We got an amazing reception in the last one, so thank you very much. We hit 100 subscribers after only one video and are sitting just under 400 views, which for an Accies fan channel is brilliant. But thank you very much for joining me and I'll see you soon.